All right, so today we've got. I think this is the first time I've ever interviewed another member of the male race on this podcast. But today we have Aaron here. Now, Aaron's kind of got an interesting story because you're a part of our private Facebook group. I don't know if are you still a part of the group, because I know you kind of like left for a little bit and then you came back.
Yeah, I still am.
So basically, I remember this as clear as day. I was like just walking around on like it must have been a weekend or something, and I looked at my phone and there's this request to join this private group from this guy. I turned to my wife and I'm like, who the hell is this? Like this doesn't even seem like, usually it's women. So I went and like checked to see if you purchased and everything, and lo and behold, you purchased. And so you were like the first guy other than me that was, and I don't even count because I'm just sort of like the admin of the group. But you were the first guy, and the women went freaking crazy over you. It was like,
I'm fully aware of this.
yeah, it was like. We were, my wife and I were just like watching some of the comments. It was just like, oh my God, what have we done? We let this poor guy into here. But that's not the reason. We're not here to talk about how horrible your experience has been in the group. No, we're here to talk about the fact that you actually came into the group to try to get your ex back, and you've succeeded. So what's going on, Aaron?
Well, basically, we can start from the beginning. How about that?
Sound always a good plan. Always a good plan.
All right. So I was just, whenever it first happened, most guys like to go with the route of I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna act like I don't care and whatnot. So I was gonna go that route. I was gonna post all over Facebook, talking to these other girls and all this stuff, all this bad stuff. I was gonna, contact her every day to make sure she wasn't forgetting about me and all this. So I was gonna go a whole different route.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stumbled across your page there. Something my buddy told me not to do was search on the internet for things to help, but I did it anyways.
Your buddy.
And I stumbled. Yeah, my guy friend said, don't ever search the internet when you're in this state of mind. It just tells you all the wrong things. Mm. But I found the right thing. So I got started, and it just completely changed my whole mindset and the way I was going to approach it.
So did you land on ex-boyfriend recovery, which is where this podcast is hosted, or ex-girlfriend recovery?
I landed on ex-boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend. That's really interesting.
Wait, yeah, the one that was for the guys.
That's ex-girlfriend. Gotcha. Ex-girlfriend recovery.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was thinking, I wonder what he typed in to land on ex-boyfriend recovery.
No, I'm not trying to get a boyfriend.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There are guys out there trying to get boyfriends back that come to ex-boyfriend recovery.
I mean, whatever floats your boat.
Right, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, exactly. But sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
Let's see. Where was I?
You basically stumbled across the website. You said you found the right kind of thing. Did you like take the quiz? Did you how did you ultimately purchase access to the Facebook group?
Well, you have a very nice marketing system. After I purchased your book, another thing popped up and said, "Hey, this is a good thing to have." I was like, "That does look like a good thing to have." So I did that, and then that's when the Facebook popped up and said, "Hey, we have this Facebook group that you can join too." So I was like, "Sure, I'll do that also."
And so you join the Facebook group, and the women go crazy. You basically get access to like 700 women who are just going gaga over you. Like every time you post, you get like 50 comments. It was like I was feeling a little jealous. I was like, what the hell? This stupid guy. I'm gonna kick him out. No, but I didn't.
It was quite nice because here I am, the only guy in the group, and I got the opinions of hundreds of women.
Yeah.
What better place to be?
So, what did you exactly do? You got into the group. You asked questions. Obviously, what did you do with the information? How did it go with your girlfriend? How did you
Oh,
ultimately get her back?
okay, so the main thing um, was so the best thing you can do is in that time period is focus on yourself and achieve everything you want to achieve. So I've been struggling with being underweight for almost all my life,
So, how old are
and
you right now?
I'm 21.
21. So, you're probably like me, where you were like in high school, you were like 130 pounds or something like that, right?
Let me tell you something. When when we broke up, I was 115 pounds.
What? That's like.
Yeah,
So, how
that
tall are you?
that's I'm 6 foot.
Holy crap! 115
Tell me,
pounds?
it was bad. It was really bad. Um, but after I was reading your book, and there was changes that had to be made. So I killed myself in the gym, eating like a dog,
Mm.
and I actually gained 45 pounds from it.
Were you doing like that? God, the guy who comes to mind is like Wolverine. The guy who played Wolverine, he was like eating like six like servings of chicken like all day every day. Was that you basically?
Basically eating every day. I don't know about six chickens, but
Like six
I
times a day, he would just like eat this chicken. And he'd be going to the gym and like bench pressing like 300 pounds. Was that you?
well, somewhat. I mean, not 300 pounds. Still not doing 300 pounds yet.
Mm.
But I mean, I started small with a small goal, and then from there just progressed. And
Wow.
I haven't been happier with myself in my entire life, and I think that's a big thing when it comes to relationship.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually really impressive. 45 pounds just
In
from
like
100.
3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a rapid growth, and obviously your ex has to be probably paying attention to all this.
Oh, she has. She has.
So tell us about that.
Even though I blocked her.
Hmm.
So when I was in no contact period, which is the best thing you can do,
Hmm.
I'll tell you why in just a minute. But when I was in that no contact period where I didn't talk to her at all, uh, I blocked her so she couldn't see my Facebook posts, my Instagram posts, none
Mm.
of it. But I knew she was a smart girl, and she'd see it anyway somehow. So I still posted things that would get her. I wouldn't say intentionally jealous, but thinking, what is he doing? You
Hmm.
know? So it was one day when all the girls on the Facebook page went crazy on one of my posts and on Instagram, and they commented like 23 of them commented saying I just look gorgeous and stuff like that.
She's
And
like, "What
she
the heck
saw
is
it.
going on?"
Yeah, she saw it somehow, and she texted me saying, "You must be doing pretty good in the ladies department."
And what did you
Yeah,
say to that?
I didn't reply.
Oh, right, you're in no contact, of course.
Yeah.
So did you like enlist the help of any of the other girls for like pictures and stuff like that? Like, hey, I posted this picture on Instagram. Could you like just comment and leave something nice?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. I would just say, "Hey ladies, I posted a new picture on Instagram," and they would go wild over it on Instagram, man. Like no filter, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, they were awesome.
It's really funny because um, it seemed to have worked on your ex. I'm kind of curious, like when you eventually got her back, did she even confront you about this? Like, what was the deal with all those women?
Okay, so she did. All right, so I asked her what what made you want to come back to me, um, and she was like, "I realized that I couldn't live without you when you refused to talk to me. So the no contact thing was the biggest thing that
Mm.
worked, and all those other girls showing interest in me worked because she said." she said that she realized how perfect of a guy I was to her, and that if any other girl was to get their hands on me, they would never let go, so she would lose me forever.
Mm. So she
Yeah.
became extremely jealous, but it was also something that you did to sort of make her realize that, hey, I'm not basically sulking over you, which is probably what she was expecting you to do.
Well, what had happened was, me being my new confident self, I actually, after the no contact period, we talked, and I realized I told her I don't want to be with you anymore. Um, like, cause she was begging for me back, doing all the things that you're not supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
texting me every day, calling me every day, begging for me back, all the things you're not supposed to do. When I said I didn't want her back, and I refused to talk to her for a long time. It was like it was like 1 or 2 weeks gone by after the no contact period that I didn't want to be with her.
Mm.
Um, and then I started missing what we had, and I started missing her more and more. So I realized I'm gonna give her a second chance, but with with um with knowing that I can live without her, if things aren't the way I deserve, I know I don't have a problem walking away from it.
You'll survive, basically. So,
Exactly.
so let me ask you, what caused your breakup in the first place with her? Did she break up with you? Did you break up with her? What was the underlying cause of the initial breakup?
All right, she broke up with me, and so we've been together ever since we were 16.
Okay.
So we've only ever really been together, just the two of us,
Mm.
and our entire relationship. I hate to say it, but her father, he
Hey,
loves
been
me.
there, been there.
He loves me, but he was looking out for his daughter's interest, I guess, and he would keep telling her, "You sure you don't want to, only ever experience one relationship? You sure you don't want to meet new people, try things with other people, try relationships with other people and stuff like this?" And so he's basically been preaching that to her our entire relationship. But I
Mm.
guess it wasn't until we moved to Daytona, and all of her, like, her cousin was saying the same thing. So
So basically,
her
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 big sphere of influence, all the family and friends are saying, break up with them, find someone new, date around.
yeah, I don't. But the thing I don't get it is they absolutely loved me, and they actually kept telling me I was part of their family and whatnot. So I don't know. It's a weird situation for them to say, "Hey, are you sure you don't want to, date new, like, try a new relationship since you've been in this one since you were 16, and that's all you know?"
Hmm.
So
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, it's really interesting. I feel like people just like drama, if that's the best way to put it. Like when things are going well, they just want to do something so it's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I've had interesting experiences myself with my very first girlfriend. I remember when I took my girlfriend to prom, her dad answered the door with an AK-47, and I'm not even kidding. Like he was doing it as a
Jesus.
joke, but like I was already nervous enough going to prom. I didn't don't know how to dance, don't know how to dance with a crap. But he answers the door in this AK-47. I'm like, what the? It just like shook me completely. And then he's the one who also yelled at me on the lawn, and when he was riding around his lawnmower because his daughter had forgiven me, or I had forgiven her for something. Like I had written some sort of note and it said "I forgive you," and he somehow like looked into his daughter's room, snuck in, read this note, and he had this weird logic behind why would my daughter ever need to be forgiven. So I can definitely sympathize with you there about parents kind of being a little weird. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
but so you get her back. The no contact rule seems to have been one of the main factors behind how you got her back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did she make any mention of So you had also done all these things, and you posted all these things during the no contact rule, and even though you had blocked her from seeing these things, you're sure that she saw them. Did she like directly tell you like what she thought during this no contact period, specifically about these positive changes that you were making?
Um, well, she's very proud of me for gaining the weight because she knew our entire relationship that I always tried, but I never succeeded.
Now you can beat her dad up.
Uh,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, I will.
No, don't say that.
Well, the thing about her dad is I don't understand her dad because he kept telling her all I want to do is text him and see how he's doing. I miss him. Weird people, man.
I can't quite understand why some people do the things that they do. I'm
I don't know.
assuming he's got this view of the world where it's normal to date around with multiple people, and it seems like you're in one of those rare cases where you're kind of each other's first loves, right? So you're high school sweethearts, and those usually don't last. So you're kind of like in the minority of mate who's made it last past high school for quite a bit of time, and he's probably thinking, "Oh, this will end. Maybe I need to end it." Who knows? It's
You want to know the interesting thing?
sure.
Him and his wife are high school sweethearts.
That's weird then.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That is interesting. I wonder what's going on in his head. So she's
I know
clearly influenced by him, though.
She says she's not, but I know she is.
Well, actions speak louder than words, you know.
Exactly. But she came back, and she told me that she tried to move on, and that's when I told her, I just don't, I didn't have to do that, so yeah, I'm gonna be the one to say I'm ending it here, and that's when she went crazy.
So how long because I remember you posted on the Facebook group, like, yeah, I don't want my ex back anymore. And then all the women who were like supporting you were like, what's wrong with you, man? You damn man. And
yeah, I know. They started calling me a potato.
Yeah, that's a weird potato thing they've got going on there. I've just kind of learned to roll with it. But basically, you did get her back, and you did ultimately come around to wanting her back. How long did that take from when you posted that post? Was it like a week? Was it like a month? How long? What amount of time went by?
Probably about a month and a half.
Month and a half. So you spent a lot of time. Did you go on any dates or try any new experiences out?
I did. I went on dates. I met new girls, and I don't know. It was just not the same because
you're always thinking about her in the back of your mind.
Yes, every day. I was, just because she broke up with me doesn't mean she wasn't a good girlfriend. She was quite amazing actually, and these other girls were just weird. And I tried the Tinder, right?
Of course.
I tried that, and never gonna do that again.
You're never gonna do that
again. No. I realized the girls on Tinder aren't exactly looking for a relationship. They're just looking for
sex.
I would say a hook. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. If you're gonna be blunt about it, yeah.
Yep. So tell me how many dates did you go on total? Like 2 or 3?
Probably about that, if not a little bit more. Or just talking to people. But the thing is, before I met my girlfriend, I had this image in my head of who would be the perfect girl for me, and that was a tall blonde country girl that likes all the things I like, and somehow that she used that, and so meeting all these other people, man, they are totally different.
They didn't live up to that expectation.
Not in the slightest bit.
So they didn't live up to basically the bar she had set before.
Yeah, I would say that.
It's really interesting because I know a lot of the people who are going to listen to this are going to be women, and they're probably going to be more interested in how you approached this process and what you were thinking during this process, especially on these other dates with these other women. So you're basically just saying, as you're on these dates with these women, you're sitting back and thinking to yourself, darn, I really wish my ex-girlfriend she's way better than this girl.
Pretty much.
It's really interesting. Have you told your ex that you went out on dates during this process, or have you kind of kept that sort of inside and kind of just keeping it secret, not to hurt her feelings?
Well, I know her. I mean, obviously, we've been together since we were 16.
Mm-hmm.
So she would ask or find out eventually. I don't know how she always finds out, but she will. So I just straight up told her while we were taking it slow and in this like rebuilding phase we're going on. I told her, so she'd know. And yeah, she was hurt about it, but she understood that it was entirely her fault, and she couldn't be mad at me or upset with me because of it.
Well, I mean, you're not like together, so there's no loyalty that you're due, essentially. Do you know if she went on any dates during this breakup period?
Yeah, she did.
And did you get jealous when you found out about that, or were you just kind of like, whatever?
I'm not really the jealous type. But I mean, it kind of made me angry. Just because it was so easy for her to just move on. I thought it was just easy for her to move on, but apparently she never did.
So she's obviously probably on those dates thinking about you. That's interesting. To me, it seems like she really didn't want to break up with you. It seems like she was influenced to do it by all of these outside forces, like her family, her dad. They're all sitting there telling her, hey, break up with them, and she just maybe got sucked into that a little bit.
That's exactly what she said, actually. She was like, I feel like an idiot for listening. And I said, you should feel like an idiot.
So how did the actual asking each other back go? Was it was she the one that basically said, hey, are we like official now, or were you the one that said, hey, be my girlfriend? Hey, baby, be my girlfriend.
No, it didn't quite work out like that. One night, this was when, so this is how it all went down. I was still not talking to her at all. And I actually had her blocked and on her my phone, so I couldn't see any of her text messages because I wanted to be completely done with her. But one night, she's a smart girl. She found some app where she could text me on. So she texted me saying, Dylan, I really need you right now. And I knew she was going through a lot because she was up in Boston because one of her family members passed, and she was at the funeral and everything. So I knew maybe she does need me, but I'll just be there for a friend. And after talking to her and seeing how hurt she was and how in such of a low place she was, it just got me thinking, man, I don't know if I can do life without this girl, because the reason why her aunt passed is because she took her own life. So that's one thing that was going through my mind. I was like, I don't think if anything was like that to happen to her, I don't think I could do life without her in it. So that's when I started talking to her, and I was like, hey, I just want to talk to friends right now and see where it goes. And then about a week goes by, and she kept asking me the entire time, is there a future for us? And I kept telling her, don't make me answer that question yet, because I don't know. And then I just told her, I do see a future, but I still want to take it slow. I don't think we're ready to put a title on it yet.
So how long ago did this occur? Was this just like a week ago, or was this just like a month ago?
this was about a week ago that I told her that maybe a week and a half ago that I told her I want to take things slow still.
Yeah, and you said that you were just in Hawaii. Did you by any chance take that trip with her, or was that just kind of a solo type thing?
Oh no, that was just it was just me.
Oh man, you had an opportunity to take her. You would have had like the best time.
Um,
I mean, it is expensive too.
well, yeah, but I don't think it would have been good to take like right off the bat take her
Hmm.
to a trip where it's just the two of us for a week.
It's
So
so. Where are we at now? Are you kind of excited to be back with her? Or are you just really in this taking things slow stage?
I really want to take things slow because she has a lot of making up to do because
You're
I
still hurt,
still
basically.
yeah, and it's weird because I'm the one that took her back, and then I still feel like it's not real. Like like none of it's real. Like she doesn't actually want me. So there's a lot of making up to do on her part to make me know, to let me know basically this is real and she does want me back. Um,
So
so there's
let me ask you a question because I realize that there's going to be a lot of women listening to this. They're probably really eager to hear what could she do exactly when she's now that you're kind of official again. What could she do to make it up to you?
honestly maybe show more attention.
Mm.
Not I'm not talking about sexual attention. I'm talking about like being there. You know, not not like dropping important things to like see or be with me, but you know, showing me an effort that they're to make it up to me.
Gotcha. So would her also expressing how sorry she is and how this is real and how she's going to make an effort and then consistently just tell you that would that work?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Have you
That's
communicated this with her at all, or are you just kind of waiting to see if she'll do it herself?
um did I actually did. So the first few days of taking it slow, I I figured, you know, maybe she would make it up on her own. Like she'd just know, okay, I have him back. I need to grasp him tight so
Right.
he would not go. I didn't really feel that vibe um, in the beginning, so I actually told her, you know, I don't think this is working out. Um, you're barely talking to me. I know we're taking it slow, but I'm not seeing anything from you,
Hmm.
and I need to see more so I know it's real. And that's why I said I just think we should just go back to how we were. And that's when she was like, that's when she kind of asked me like, why are you acting like this? You know, I don't want to lose you and stuff like that. So after that, you know, she got better. After I would say talking, like addressing it that I want you to do this to prove to me is the best way to go.
Hmm.
Because if she would never have known, she might have thought taking it slow meant like, you know, he still doesn't want to talk to me that much, but he wants to talk to me a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's important to also express to her your needs, like how I just said. Like, I kind of want you to show a little remorse for how I was treated, and I'm not really feeling that from you. Sometimes all people need is just communication because it's like a weird thing to ask another person to act the way you want them to act. But I
Yeah.
think sometimes communicating that is the only way to make them understand that sort of this is your language of love. This is how you're going to feel better. And she may have like a different perception of how to make you feel better. Maybe she's thinking, oh, he needs space. And you're thinking, no, I want you to actually like be attentive. I want you to give me attention. So sometimes you just have to communicate. And so I'm glad that you did that. And it seems like things have started picking up, but I can also sense just in your voice and in your vibe that you're not like 100% all in just yet. You are
No,
like truly trying to take
yeah.
it slow.
Yeah, I'm not convinced yet. And we are we're right now it's long distance because she
Mm,
still lives in Daytona. After it all happened, I packed my bags and I moved back home, so to Pensacola, Florida. But like I said prior to us getting into this, I will be moving to Orlando.
mm.
So and that's only 40 minutes from Daytona. So
I know.
I think
I've got
things will
family in
pick.
Daytona as well, actually.
Oh, that's funny. But sorry, she just
That's okay.
Snapchatted me. But
That's all
anyways,
good.
but yeah, I think once we can see each other more in person, it'll pick up more. Because over text message, I have told her this our entire relationship, but women can be stubborn.
Mm.
I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail on the Facebook page for
Nah,
saying
they're
that,
not.
but
They'll be supportive. They'll
wi-
they'll be appreciative of the fact that you're opening up and telling them what a
okay,
real man thinks. And if they do,
yeah,
just send them
well,
to me and I'll set them straight.
all right, well, yeah, women can be stubborn sometimes, and they can take things the wrong way, especially over text message. When the thing about texting is, you you can't really
There's no
depict
tone,
someone's
right?
emotions.
There's no
Yeah, you can't.
tone,
It's hard to see the emotion behind a text
right?
message
So
because
I could be
you can take it
saying,
several ways.
right. So if I was saying okay, I could like if you said something and I'm like okay, whatever, or okay. There's like a big difference between like how the tone of your text messages look. So it's
Yeah,
that's why I think it's important, especially in long distance relationships, to do like FaceTime or phone calls or something like that, and maybe just
yeah,
make texting like secondary to those.
yeah.
So what? Because I've been in a long distance relationship. What is yours looking like right now?
Um, I mean, it's going pretty good because we both know that it's only going to be for another month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, less than a month that it's going to be long distance. And I'm actually next week I'm driving to Daytona because I have some college things to do because I got my associate's degree from Daytona
Mm-hmm.
and I got to transfer it all to UCF. So I got to deal with that, and I'm going to spend the weekend with her. So
Awesome.
it's not as hard as most are going to be.
No. It seems like you've kind of got your end goal, and it's just like right down the end of the tunnel. But if you want my piece of advice, sometimes also the
Of
best way
course.
to get a woman to open up to you and appreciate you and give you that attention is to actually give her something first. So if I was you, I'd actually send her some flowers or something. And I would actually do it at her house for her family to see. So you can kind of like build some goodwill with them and get them on your side again. And then she'll probably be real appreciative of the flowers, and it can only go well. I realize you want her to make it up to you, but
Yeah.
you also have to give her a reason to want to stay in the relationship, because you don't want things to grow super sour, especially that now that you've got her back. And it seems like you've kind of overall won. If there was like a score behind this thing, and I know there shouldn't be, but you've
Yeah.
gotten her sort of to beg for you back, which is ultimately what I think you wanted. But you got to give her a little bit to stay in the relationship. So I'm sure every woman appreciates flowers, unless she's like allergic to them. That don't send
Nah.
them.
No, she's not.
So
That she's not.
So I would do that if I was you, but obviously it's your ultimate decision. I should really buy my
Yeah,
wife flowers.
that's a good idea actually.
Yep, make sure you do it with her parents around though. Like send it to the house and have her dad or mom pick it up or something. Like let them be the ones answering the door. Let there be an opportunity for that to happen, just so they can see just how wrong they were about you. You know?
Well, it was just mostly her dad. Her mom, absolutely loves me, and so there were several times where her mom would text me and say, "Hey, you need to remind Natalie today that she's very lucky to have you in her life." And
Oh, that's kind of sweet. I
yeah,
wish my mother-in-law did that.
yes, and she's told several people that she thinks that me and Natalie are gonna get married and stuff. So she absolutely loves me, and apparently she actually teared up whenever um, whenever she found out the news, and also from what I've heard, she she literally talks about me all the time, even when we were apart, she would still talk about me to people.
Mm.
So it's a good thing to have the mama on the side.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you just now got to get the dad. So maybe you should send her dad flowers. No, I'm just kidding.
I've thought of a few ways to
Getting good.
approach her dad, but I think I'm just gonna keep it silent for the best because I'm a very independent person, and just finding out the news that she listened to her dad kind of makes me want to address it with him
Mm.
and basically be like, hey, for now on, keep your own opinion to your damn self.
Mm.
But that's just going to cause problems,
Big
and I
time
think it's
problems.
best.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's best if I just keep my mouth shut when it comes to him, and eventually, he might realize, oh shit, maybe he really is the best for her.
Yeah, well, my whole theory is always kill them with kindness, even if they're rude to you. If you don't give them any ammunition, they're, you know, ultimately
Yeah.
people figure out that they need to make their own choices. And I've certainly been almost in your exact position where, you know, my ex-girlfriend's parents turned against me when I really didn't do anything. I'm not. They were very religious by nature, and I'm not against religion or anything like that. I just don't really. I'm not as religious as them, and they kind of took that as a slight, and eventually were a force in the breakup. So I can definitely understand sort of where you're coming from. But yeah, just my advice is just kill them with kindness. I wouldn't like start a fight or anything. Even though now you probably can, that you're all like beefed up and looking like Wolverine.
Not quite there yet, but it's going because when you gain 45 pounds in 3 months, it's not all muscle. A good amount of it's fat too.
Mm.
So I got a little bit of a fatty gut. But
Nah, man,
that's
no way.
much better.
I've seen your pictures. You got a full blown 6-pack and like gigantic biceps and triceps. This guy's like a beast, ladies.
Maybe.
Maybe. I think we're coming up on time here, but I wanted to ask you, not necessarily what you did to get your ex back, but what was your thought process throughout this whole thing? Like, did you just go through this gigantic roller coaster of emotions, or were you pretty like you had an end goal in mind and you achieved it, and that was that, and then you just happened to get back with her? Like, let me just get your overall sense of your feelings throughout this whole process.
All right. So if the viewers that are listening to this already don't know about guys, is when it comes to emotions, we definitely don't know how to address them, and we definitely don't know what's going on fully. It just kind of happens, and it's a mess. So, yeah, I was a mess in the beginning. Like, holy crap! I had a buddy. The best thing to do is talk about it to different people, even though it's awkward,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like you're a burden on them. You definitely talk about it. But I would say in the first week, yeah, emotions were all over the place. I joined back into Muay Thai, which is like a fighting.
Yeah, MMA, right? It's a
Yeah,
like one of the martial arts that they used in. I think George St. Pierre uses that.
yeah, and I did it just so that this doesn't sound crazy, just so I can feel the pain again, and so I can focus something on something else.
Okay.
Of like, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me because I haven't done it in years, like 6 years. So that going there really helps everything because I could punch and kick things.
Mm-hmm.
I can be kicked too, and it was weird because it was like almost like I felt no pain at all because the pain of losing her was much more than any physical pain. So I was able to train like crazy because of it. So that's one thing. Then, time heals all. Heals everything. With time, I got better and better with time. And seeing progression, I got better and better. To the point where I'm now, where, at any moment, if I feel like she's never going to be the person I want to be with, I can just be like, hey, I don't want this, and I'll be completely fine.
Hmm.
So it is a roller coaster ride for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're actually being honest about it too, because some men try to sit back and say that they handled it with grace, but I don't really know one person that's ever handled a breakup with grace in my personal life. So,
No,
um,
it was awful.
yeah.
Definitely the worst pain you ever feel in your life. Um, like I said, I was going getting physical pain,
This
and
one
that
had
didn't
to have hurt.
hurt.
This one had to have hurt, like especially for you though, since this was probably like your first and only girlfriend, right? So you were with her for a long time.
She wasn't my first and only girlfriend, but she was my only real girlfriend
Got it. So you're like
because
first real relationship, I guess we'll say.
yeah, because before her, I was okay. So she was actually 16, 15 when we met, and I was 17.
Okay,
So we have a little bit of difference there.
that's
So
okay.
I
It
was a
seems like
junior in
a
high
big
school.
deal, like in
Yeah.
high school, doesn't it? But like when you get older, it's not.
Yeah, no, not really. But she was a freshman in high school, and I was a junior. So I had freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year to do all these crazy things with and date other people. So it wasn't like dating other people wasn't a big deal to me, but I was her only boyfriend. So I can see where for her it was always in the back of my mind. What if it's different with someone else? But she straight up told me that the guys that she tried to date were complete dicks,
Mm,
and they had one thing in mind.
mm.
So,
Well, hey,
so there's that.
thanks for coming on, man. I know you probably got to get rolling here, but any last words of wisdom for anyone listening?
Um, I would just say that there's a reason why things happen, and just take advantage of it, because if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be the best person I am today. So just look on the bright side of things. I know it's hard. It's very hard to look at the bright side of such a terrible event, but take advantage of the time you have to focus on yourself, because without it, you could go down a long road of going back and forth with your ex. So really, just take advantage of that time that you have and completely change everything that you hate about yourself. Make it where you love yourself, and if you love yourself, it's easy to love someone else, and they'll feel that vibe, and they'll love you just as much as you love yourself.